Hello and welcome. In this lecture, we're going to explore the extreme bonus capabilities of Nano Banana Pro. The Gemini 3 Pro model, Gemini's latest and most advanced model, was released very recently. It now understands much better text and can generate more advanced images, video and audio. Nano Banana represents the image generation part of this, and it has really raised the bar. I've experimented with it a little bit, so if you're ready, let's briefly look at what we will see in this video today.
Why does this new version, Nano Banana Pro, operate on a completely different level than the previous one? Because this model is no longer just an AI that generates images. It emerges as a system that can literally think, understand the world, pull live data from the internet, and turn it into something creative. Let's break down these updates step by step with simple and great examples. The first big leap, reasoning power. Now, before creating a scene, Banana analyzes physically how it should function. It thinks beforehand, then draws. For example, when we say a cat sitting on glass, it doesn't just draw a cat. It used to be like that. Now it calculates all logical elements, such as how the cat's paw will press against the glass, how the light will refract through the glass, and where the reflection will fall. It draws completely based on logic and laws of physics, starting from zero guesswork. The second innovation is world knowledge. This model knows how the real world works. It recognizes concepts, cultural elements, processes, details of famous structures, everything. For instance, when we say make a water cycle infographic, it doesn't just draw random shapes with weird text. It legibly shows where precipitation settles, how evaporation occurs, etc. It places everything correctly. Essentially, it researches real-world knowledge, understands the topic, and makes infographics for you accordingly. And for me, the crazy feature is real-time information. It connects to Google Live, it's Google's model. After all, it pulls that instant information and visualizes it for you, even if the information is current. For example, if we say create a panel showing the current weather in Tokyo, the old model couldn't do this. It doesn't draw a made-up estimate or a fake graph anymore. It takes whatever is actually happening in Tokyo at that moment and visualizes it. Rain, 18 degrees Celsius, it places everything exactly. Let's apply an example prompt to examine stronger reasoning ability of Nano Banana. Here is the prompt that I called it, the cause and effect crime scene. A detective's corkboard connecting evidence. A red string physically connects a photo of a muddy boot on the left to a map of Central Park on the right. A second string connects a broken watch at the top to a timestamp received at the bottom. The strings cast realistic shadows, proving they are pinned above the photos. Let me show you why this image matters. Because this isn't about style or visuals, it's about how Nano Banana Pro thinks. I give the prompt and I'm very clear. I say the muddy boot stays on the left, the map goes on the right, the watch sits at the top, and the receipt goes at the bottom. That already forces the model to understand position. It can't guess. It has to build a mental layout first. And that's exactly what happens. Nothing floats randomly. Left is left, right is right, top is top, bottom is bottom. The model clearly understands space, not just objects. Then comes the harder part. I describe two strings. One string connects the boot to the map, the second string connects the watch to the receipt. Older models usually fail here. They blend everything together, strings cross, and logic breaks. Nano Banana Pro doesn't do that. It keeps the connections clean. This string belongs only to this pair. That string belongs only to that pair. Two ideas run at the same time and neither interferes with the other. That's strong relational thinking. Now look at the shadows. I say the strings are pinned above the photos, so they must cast realistic shadows. To get this right, the model has to reason about depth and light. If something sits above, light hits it first and the shadow appears slightly offset. The result proves that thinking the shadows make sense. The board feels physical, not flat. So when someone asks why Nano Banana Pro shows stronger reasoning, this is the answer. Most AI models imagine a scene. Nano Banana Pro constructs it. It follows direction, respects relationships, and applies real-world cause and effects. That's why the result looks clean, logical, and intelligent, and that's what stronger reasoning really means. Alright, now that we've seen how Nano Banana Pro reasons about space and physics, let's move to the second big innovation, word knowledge. This is huge. This model doesn't just place objects or calculate shadows, it actually understands how the real world works. It knows concepts, processes, cultural details, even famous structures. In other words, it's not just a creative engine, it's a knowledge engine. To see this in action, let's do a simple example everyone loves. Cheesecake. Imagine you want to make a cheesecake at home, but you don't want to sift through boring recipes, or hunt for videos, or organize a list of steps yourself. You just want a clear visual guide that shows exactly what to do in the right order, with the right ingredients at the right time. Here's the prompt I gave Nano Banana Pro. Ultimate berry cheesecake step by step, hyper-realistic high-res editorial-style food photography on white marble countertop. Show all 6 stages: crust, filling, water bed bake, cooling, berry topping, final plated slice. Include recipe boxes at the bottom of each image with ingredients and step instructions. Bright natural lighting, deep focus, vibrant colors, photorealistic, 8K, 50mm lens,
Modern cookbook style. Notice what we're testing here. We are testing here cooking logic, ingredients knowledge, process accuracy.
When Nano Banana Pro generates the image, here's what happens. The crust appears first, clearly labeled. Cream cheese mixing comes next, and the ingredients are placed correctly. Baking and cooling steps are visually distinct. Blueberry topping is added only at the right stage. The final assembly looks realistic, clean, and easy to follow. Everything follows real-world logic, not just artistic interpretation. In short, Nano Banana Pro doesn't just draw it things like a professional, whether in physics, relationships, or word knowledge. Let me close this section with one last very quick example, just to lock in what we mean by word knowledge. I use a passport application timeline. The image Nano Banana Pro generates is clean and immediately familiar. You see document submission first, then identity verification, background checks, processing, approval, and finally delivery. Nothing jumps ahead. Nothing is missing. The flow feels exactly like a real government process. That result matters because this isn't visual creativity, it's procedural understanding. The model knows how real-world systems operate and translates that knowledge into a logical visual sequence. Alright, let's continue smoothly from word knowledge into the third capability of Nano Banana Pro. This one goes a step further. It's about simulating real-time information and presenting it clearly. Until now, we've seen the model understand logic, space, physics, cooking, and bureaucracy. Now we test something harder. Can it act like it understands live, up-to-date information, and show it in a professional visual format? Now let me clarify something important here, because this part often gets misunderstood. What we are seeing next is not just good guessing or generic word knowledge. Nano Banana Pro gets instant access to current information through the internet, and then it resonates about that information visually. So this feature is really about real-time information, awareness plus presentation intelligence. I start with this prompt, and I read it clearly to the model. A full-page professional infographic with a clean white background. titled Top 5 Sunglasses Under $100 in Milan. Modern minimal layout comparing Ray-Ban New Wayfarer, Polaroid, and Oakley frog skins in columns for price, lens type, and pros. Sharp typography, premium graphic design style, soft natural light, top-down view, no table, no background textures, no surrounding objects. Now look at the result image. What's happening here is very important. The model doesn't invent random brands or fake comparisons. It pulls current market knowledge, understands which brands are realistic under that budget, and organizes them exactly the way a real consumer infographic would. Now the final test, live weather awareness. Here's the prompt. A simple, easy to read live weather map illustration of Greater London viewed top down. Current weather conditions visualized with clear color zones and icons. Rain intensity, cloud cover, and clear areas. Clean, minimal map style, subtle labels, realistic distribution based on today's actual weather. And again, the result just feels right. Weather zones transition naturally. Icons appear only where needed. Nothing is over-designed. That's because the model first accesses current weather information, then applies visual reasoning to decide what matters most for clarity.
In short, we can think of the old Nano Banana as a talented painter working in a place without internet. It produced great things but wasn't aware of what was happening outside. Nano Banana Pro, on the other hand, is like a painter with a smartphone. It researches the world, looks at current information, combines what it sees with logic, and we can have it produce accurate, modern, and incredibly beautiful scenes. That's why saying the model has been updated is really not enough. Sure, the Gemini 3 Pro version has arrived with more than advanced capabilities, but it has transferred it entirely to Nano Banana as well. Now, when we want a photo or give a comment, Nano Banana will think, make logical deduction, and reduce accordingly. Isn't it great? If this video inspired you, helped you, and sparked new ideas, make sure to like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe for more advanced AI workflow just like this. Thanks for watching, and now go create something unforgettable. See you!